Aretha Franklin wasn't just a singer, she was a movement, a voice that echoed across generations. Her story is one of talent, resilience, and power. A journey from gospel choirs in Detroit to global superstardom. Known as the Queen of Soul, she gave the world unforgettable songs like Respect, Think, and You Make Me Feel Like a Natural Woman. But her legacy goes far beyond music. Aretha stood for civil rights, women's empowerment, and the pure, raw emotion that only true soul music can deliver. In this video, we'll dive into her incredible life across 10 chapters, from her childhood roots to her final triumphs. Whether you're a lifelong fan or just discovering her now, this journey will show you why Aretha Franklin remains one of the most iconic artists of all time. Let's celebrate her voice, her fight, and her unforgettable presence. Aretha Louise Franklin was born on March 25, 1942, in Memphis, Tennessee. Music was already in her blood. Her father, Reverend C.L. Franklin, was a famous preacher known for his powerful sermons and deep voice. Her mother, Barbara, was a gospel singer and pianist. When Aretha was just a young girl, the family moved to Detroit, where her father's church became a gathering place for great musicians and civil rights leaders. Gospel music surrounded her, and Aretha started singing in the church choir at just 10 years old. Sadly, her mother passed away when she was only 6, which brought emotional challenges. But music became her escape and her strength. She had an extraordinary gift even as a child. People in the church would stop and listen, because when Aretha sang, it felt like heaven was speaking directly through her voice. By age 14, Aretha was already recording gospel music. Her father saw the power in her voice and took her on tour with him. They traveled across churches and venues, and Aretha quickly gained attention in the gospel world. In 1956, she released her first album, Songs of Faith, featuring songs like Precious Lord, Take My Hand and Never Grow Old. These recordings weren't just impressive, they were filled with raw spirit and deep soul. Though young, she sang with the maturity and emotion of someone far beyond her years. Even as a teenager, Aretha had the power to move audiences to tears. She stayed true to her gospel roots throughout her life, even after entering the secular music world. Her ability to blend spiritual passion with musical talent was what set her apart from the start. At 18, Aretha made a bold decision. She left Detroit and gospel music behind to pursue a career in pop and jazz. With her father's support, she moved to New York City and signed with Columbia Records in 1960. Columbia tried to mold her into a jazz pop singer, and while she had success, something was missing. The music didn't fully capture her soul. Songs like Today I Sing the Blues and Won't Be Long showed her promise, but Columbia didn't know how to bring out her full power. Still, these early recordings helped her grow as an artist. She was learning, shaping her voice, and preparing for the breakout moment that would change everything. Aretha never gave up. She believed in her gift, even when the music industry didn't fully understand it yet. Everything changed in 1966 when Aretha signed with Atlantic Records. Unlike her previous label, Atlantic understood the deep soul inside her voice. In 1967, she released I Never Loved a Man, The Way I Love You, and it was a massive hit. That same year, she released Respect, a song originally by Otis Redding, but Aretha made it her own. Her version wasn't just a song, it was an anthem. Respect became a rallying cry for women, African Americans, and anyone demanding dignity and justice. Aretha was no longer just a singer, she was a force of nature. Her next hits, Chain of Fools, Think, Baby I Love You, cemented her status as the Queen of Soul. With each performance, she poured her entire being into the music. The world had finally caught up to what Aretha had known all along. Aretha Franklin wasn't just singing about love, she was singing about life. She used her fame to support the civil rights movement. Her father was close friends with Martin Luther King Jr., and Aretha grew up understanding the importance of justice. She performed at civil rights rallies and offered financial support to key activists. In 1968, she sang at Dr. King's funeral, delivering a heartbreaking version of Precious Lord, Take My Hand. That performance remains one of the most emotional moments in music history. Aretha understood her voice could reach places words couldn't. She spoke out for women's rights, racial equality, and human dignity. In every lyric, she carried the hopes and pain of her people. She wasn't afraid to speak up. Aretha wasn't just the queen of soul. She was a warrior for justice. The 1970s brought new challenges. Musical tastes were shifting, and disco, rock, and funk were taking over. But Aretha was far from finished. She adapted her sound while staying true to herself. Hits like Rocksteady, Daydreaming, and Angel proved she could evolve without losing her power. She also returned to her gospel roots with the live album Amazing Grace in 1972, which became one of the best-selling gospel albums of all time. The album was recorded live at a church in Los Angeles and showed Aretha at her most authentic. Her voice soared, and her passion was unshakable. This was more than just a music performance. It was a spiritual experience. Aretha's gift wasn't tied to trends. Her soul connected with every generation, and her career continued to shine long after others faded. In the 1980s, Aretha Franklin proved she was timeless. She signed with Arista Records and launched a new chapter in her career. Songs like Freeway of Love, Who's Zoomin' Who, and Jump to It introduced her to a younger audience. She collaborated with big stars like George Michael on the hit I Knew You Were Waiting for Me, which topped the charts worldwide. Her sound blended pop, R&B, and gospel in a way that felt fresh and modern. Aretha also made history by becoming the first woman inducted into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame in 1987. She wasn't just making a comeback, she was building a legacy. The 80s showed the world that Aretha Franklin's voice could transcend any era. Her energy was undimmed, and her passion still blazed bright. As the years went by, Aretha received every major honor a musician could dream of. She won 18 Grammy Awards and sold over 75 million records. In 1994, she received the Grammy Lifetime Achievement Award. Presidents, fellow artists, and fans from all walks of life praised her. In 2005, she received the Presidential Medal of Freedom from George W. Bush, the highest civilian award in the United States. She sang at Barack Obama's inauguration in 2009, moving the entire nation with a performance of My Country, 'Tis of Thee. Her hat at that performance even became iconic. These moments showed how deeply America respected her, not just as a singer but as a symbol of greatness. Aretha was no longer just a star. She was a national treasure, loved and admired around the globe. Even in her later years, Aretha continued to perform with power and grace. One of her most unforgettable moments came in 2015 when she surprised Carole King and the world with a performance of A Natural Woman at the Kennedy Center Honors. Dressed in a long fur coat, she brought the audience, including President Obama, to tears. Her voice, full of soul and strength, proved she still had it. Sadly, Aretha's health began to decline in the last years of her life. She passed away on August 16, 2018, at the age of 76. The world mourned her loss, but her music continued to play everywhere. Her funeral was a grand tribute, filled with music, love, and memories from people who knew her best. Aretha's journey ended, but her spirit remained unshaken. Aretha Franklin's legacy isn't just in her hits, it's in the hearts she touched. Her music still plays at weddings, protests, and celebrations. Young artists continue to look up to her. Beyoncé, Adele, Jennifer Hudson, they all speak of Aretha as their inspiration. In 2021, a biographical film titled Respect, starring Jennifer Hudson, was released, bringing her story to a new generation. But no movie, no tribute, can fully capture what Aretha gave to the world. Her voice was unmatched, her courage unbreakable, and her soul unforgettable. She showed us how music could heal, empower, and change the world. Aretha Franklin was more than a singer. She was a legend, a fighter, and a queen in every sense of the word. Her spirit still lives in every note, every chorus, and every heart she ever touched. Thank you for joining us on this journey through the life and legacy of the one and only Aretha Franklin. If you felt inspired, moved, or simply in awe of her incredible story, don't forget to like, subscribe, and leave a comment below sharing your favorite Aretha Franklin song or memory. We'd love to hear from you. Her music lives on, and together we can keep celebrating the Queen of Soul for generations to come.